Okay.
Yes, good afternoon. Monday not present here. The MindCraft is a joint venture started by Steps for Skills, Thrissur, Kerala, and Shivai Consultancy, Rajkot, Gujarat. It was founded by Dr. Jay Nambudri and Dr. Pradipsha Rajani, who are working in the field of positive mental health. We have also collaborated with EQ4Peace Worldwide, INC USA. We have established ourselves with the aim of providing solution to the mental health issues which are prevalent in our society. We are committed to fostering awareness, management, and the mastery of positive mental health based on emotional intelligence, creating peace from the inside out. Our organization aims to spread awareness about various psychological instabilities that leads to major health issues. Our commitment is create social awareness, eradicate and overcome this social stigma, and to improve positive mental health in our society for a harmonious life. Now I am inviting Pradesha for introduce the speaker. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jayan sir, for giving me this opportunity. A warm welcome to one and all present here. And as Jayan sir said that, yeah, MindCraft is working for spreading the mental health awareness and making the society mentally healthy. Now, let us welcome Dr. Ragitha. We have Dr. Ragitha with us today, who is going to present her views on positive resilience. Dr. Ragitha Radhakrishnan is the head of the Department of Psychology at Dr. MGR Janaki College of Arts and Science for Women in Chennai. She is also a visiting faculty at Dr. MGR Institute of Special Education and Research and Bala Vidyalaya Teachers Training Institute. She was an ACE student throughout her studies. Her doctoral research was based on developing resilience among students with hearing impairment. She was the gold medalist at the university level and has won 2 Best Paper Awards in international conferences. She was awarded as one among 50 outstanding faculty members in arts and science colleges in India in 2019 by ULEX. She is the recipient of Daniel Goleman Excellence Award in Psychology in 2021 by REPRC. She has published 14 articles in national and international journals and has edited a book, Transitions. She has been the keynote speaker, resource person for numerous conferences, seminars, workshops, webinars. She is actively involved in counseling school children and college students. She also works extensively to cater to the mental health needs of students with physical disabilities. Her areas of interest includes Indian psychology, disability psychology, and positive psychology. And we are lucky enough to have you with us, ma'am. So I would like to hand over the mic over to you. And thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. And thank you very much, Dr. Jayan sir and Pratisha ma'am for this opportunity. And I'm very happy to be here, very happy to be associated with MindCraft. And basically, I'm actually feeling very excited and happy to be here. So today I'll be talking on psychological resilience. So this is actually a topic which is very close to my heart because I have been working in the field of resilience for the past maybe 12, 13 years because my doctoral research was on resilience. So this is actually a topic which is very close to my heart and I'm very happy to speak on it. I'll share my screen. Okay. Okay. So the topic today is enhancing resilience. So I assume that many of the people who are here would be in some way connected or from the psychology background, but still I would like to start with an introduction on what resilience actually is. So when we talk about resilience, it is basically the capacity that every individual has, or it is the process by which we adapt well, or we are able to bounce back quickly in any stressful situation that we are placed in. So a very easy way to explain this is, if you just throw a ball on the ground, it just bounces back as long as it has that, it is a ball that is having that capability. So just like that, once we fall down, we just don't remain there on the ground. We get back, we stand up. That is what resilience means. So if there is a crisis that we face in our life, how do we cope with that? How do we return to a pre-crisis status? So when we are in a very healthy state, when we are in a very psychologically healthy condition, we face a trauma, we just, we face some issues. How do we get back to how we initially were? That is what we mean by psychological resilience. We cope with the situation, we are able to overcome it. That is what we mean by resilience. So the APA defines resilience as a process of adapting well in the face of trauma. So if a trauma can be any negative situation that we face in our life. It can be the death of a family member, it can be an illness, it can be loss of a job, it can be a breakup, it can be some issue that we have in a friendship, it can be something which is life threatening, something that is so influential that it influences your whole life, or something for another person it might not be that, it might not seem very important, but for me it might be a big issue. So even that, I might consider that as a trauma. Another person may ask, okay, it's just a very small thing, do you have to make such a big fuss about it? But as far as I'm concerned, that might be something that is so close to my heart. I lose that, it becomes traumatic. I consider that as a tragedy. It can be a threat, any source of a stress. How do you actually bounce back from that? That is what resilience means. So this is the APA definition. So Connor and Davidson, they are two theorists who have done a lot of research on resilience. So they have developed a resilience scale. They have numerous publications in the field of resilience. So they have come up with certain characteristics that resilient people have. So they say that a person who is resilient will view any change as a challenge or opportunity. So when we talk about stress, so stress is basically any reaction to a change. So you go to college or you go to office by bus every day, you don't get the bus one day, you get stressed. You generally reach in an hour, today it's taking more than an hour, it's getting late, there's a change, you feel stressed. Generally you reach at this particular time, you don't reach. Anyway, there is a change, like generally classes happen, one day there is an exam, the student gets stressed. So any change leads to stress. So any change, if we see that as a challenge, as something with which we can progress in our lives, anything as an opportunity, that is how resilient people view a change. They don't feel it as something that hampers their development or something that is preventing them from coming up in their life. They view change as something that is an opportunity. They are committed. They are committed to whatever they do. They don't keep on grumbling that I have to do this. Why is that? I don't want this. They are committed to whatever it is. If it is work, yes, I'm committed to my work. If it is a relationship, yes, I feel committed to that. Then they know, they are able to recognize their limits to control. So we cannot control everything. Like there are certain things which we can bring under control, like there are certain things which we cannot control. So resilient people, they know, okay, this is something which is under my control. and I am willing to, understand that this is something which I can change, so I will change it. But this is something which I cannot change. I don't really have anything to do about it. So I'll just wait for it to unfold by itself, or I will see what help I can, get for that particular problem. They understand, that understanding is there. They engage the, support of others. We can't do everything by ourselves. Sometimes we are too over enthusiastic that we feel that, okay, I can change the world overnight. But resilient people know that they need the social support. Social support is something that we all want. We may say that, no, no, I don't want anybody. I can live my own life. It's my life, my rules. But still, we need support. So they know that they need support. They know where to get support from. They know what they can do about it. Then they have a close and secure attachment to others. They know who they have to attach with. They know to what level they have to have that disclosure. They know how to have that, proper close attachment to other people. So that close, secure attachment will be there with other people. And when it comes to goals, they know what their personal goal is. They know what a collective goal is. Sometimes it is, it's not just my goal. It is something that is there for me as a group. So they have those collective goals. They don't always think about themselves alone. They have those collective goals and personal goals as well. So they have this feeling of self-efficacy. They know what they're capable of. They know that not all stress is bad. So there is positive stress, even negative stress. There is a strengthening effect. Like in the long term, there are some lessons that you get from whatever happens in your life. They know the strengthening effect of any stress that is going on in their lives. They acknowledge past successes. Sometimes what happens is we are always obsessed with our failures. I didn't do that. That person said like that to me, or I wasn't so good at this, or this is what happened. Overall, when I just have an overall view of my life, it doesn't really look that good. But the resilient people, they know that, yes, I have done something good. There is something good in what I've done in my life, and they acknowledge that. It is there, like they are consciously aware of their successes, and they apply whatever they have learned from those things in the present situations. So they are, it helps them to remain optimistic. They have a realistic sense of control. They know what choices they have, and their sense of control is absolutely realistic. They know what they can control, what they can't control. They have a sense of humor. They are, they take whatever has to be taken seriously, they do take it seriously, but whatever has to be taken lightly, they know that it has to be taken lightly. That balance is there. What has to be, what all things can you approach with a sense of humor, and how can you bring in that, humor is something which is a very important, element that should be there in whatever we do. How much of a seriousness you can bring in that lightness in it, and these people can do that. They can, they can sense it themselves, and they can spread it to other people also. They have an action oriented approach. It's not just about dreams and thinking that everything will be fine. They know when to act, how to act, and they do it. So there is this action oriented approach. When they have this, we spoke about goals just now. They have really smart goals, and they know how to reach that goal. What is the approach they have to take to reach that particular goal? And then they're patient. They have that patience that everything doesn't happen overnight. We may have to wait, but we'll wait and we'll make things work out. So they have that patience. They have the tolerance of negative affect. It's, it's not possible for us to be happy all the time. There will be negative emotions that will just pass through our lives here and there. So we have to be tolerant about it. We can't say that, no, I won't experience any negative emotions. I always want to be happy. That is the life I dreamt about. You will experience negative emotions, and they know how to, how to just move across that particular path. So they're able to tolerate it well. They are adaptable to change. So we kind of saw that in the first point itself. They know that change is definitely will be there, and we have to adapt to it. They are optimistic. They have that faith, and that faith that yes, I can work on it. That this is the limit to which I can stretch myself, and I will do that. Wherever I need support, I will ask for that support, and I will get my things done. I will reach my goal. That faith will be there. So these are the characteristics that Conrad Davidson said about resilience. So what is it that contributes to resilience? So when all of us heard the definition, we might have kind of self-analyzed. So am I a resilient person, or who are the resilient people who I know? So what is it that actually contributes to resilience? Or is there any way where we can increase this, or are we born with it, or we just, have to find out? So having a good support system contributes to your resilience. You need a support system. It can be your family, it can be your friends, it can be your co-workers, it can be anybody, but you need a support system. You need to have proper relationships. You need to maintain those positive relationships. You need to have a good self-image. When you think about yourself, when you look at yourself, you should have that feeling that, yes, I am a person of worth. You need to have that positive self-image, and you need to have a positive attitude. The evaluation that you have about yourself should be positive about anything. Like, you shouldn't be always, having a negative view about whatever is happening around you. So all these things kind of contribute to your resilience. So, and the self-control that you have, the emotional awareness, how aware are you about your emotions? So all that kind of, and your problem solving abilities, everything, all these can actually contribute to your resilience. So what are the types of resilience? You might have, come up with a few names now. Okay, this person seems to be resilient. I am kind of resilient, or I'm very resilient, or I've seen that person, that character in that movie. So you might have come up with certain names in your mind right now. Okay, these are the resilient people. So what are the types of resilience? First one, we have natural resilience. These are the people who are, it's a part of them. They are born with, they're born resilient. Okay, it's naturally there in them. Okay, it's their nature. Okay, you don't have to teach them to be resilient, or you don't have to wait for a situation for them to become resilient and all. They are like that. They're, basically their whole nature is like that. So they are so enthusiastic about life. They are those people who are, really happy to explore and play and learn, and so it just comes along. They don't have to, wait for a situation to bring that up or anything. They are like that. They don't really get scared of anything about experiencing something new or anything. They are explorers. They just take things as it comes, and they are born like that. So that is the first type. We call it natural resilience. And then we have the adaptive resilience. So this is when they may not express their resilience at a young age, but they might go through certain life circumstances which force them to learn. Because of that life situation that they went through, they change, they adapt. Okay, they just learn how to become resilient because they were placed in that particular situation. They go through a very tough phase in life, and as a result of that, they get that resilience. So they learn how to do it. Okay, it's not something that was there when they were very small, but they get stronger as a result of going through a particular life situation. So that is the second type, which is called adaptive resilience. And then we have the restored resilience. This is also learned resilience, where you learn you learn techniques which help you to build resilience, and you restore that resilience that you had as a child. So when you are learned how to do it, it's like somebody teaches you, okay, this is how you can become resilient, these are the traits which you have to bring into yourself, but this is how you should behave, this is how you should deal with the situation. So learning those techniques, or going through those kind of uh, like basically learning those techniques help them to deal with their past traumas. They might be struggling with their past issues. It helps them to deal with that in a better way. They deal with the present in a much better way, and they learn how to deal with issues that they may face in the future. So this is the third type. It's also called learned resilience. So we said that we can learn resilience. So what can we actually do? So is there something that we can actually, any one of us? So whatever I'm going to say here is not something which requires a week-long training workshop or anything. These are very small things that you can bring into your daily life, or certain things which you can think of right now. So the first thing is, we have been telling this from the beginning, that we have to be resilient when we are faced with a stressful situation or a traumatic situation. So the first thing that is there is, we need to know when we are stressed. So the solution to a problem, the first step that we have to take is perhaps maybe recognizing that there is a problem. So first we need to know that, yes, I am going through a stressful situation. So sometimes we just stretch ourselves so much, and at the end we feel all burnt out. We're not able to take anything anymore, we just feel like giving up. But we were not aware that we were going through so much of stress, and there was something that we could do about it. We just thought that, okay, this is how life is, or this is how workplace is supposed to be, this is how family is supposed to be, so I'll just keep going. But we have to really acknowledge the fact that, yes, this is something which can be considered as stress. So we need to understand that, yes, this is how my body reacts to stress. When I'm faced with such a situation, this is how I react to it. This is how my body reacts to it. So when I get a tummy ache, this is why I get a tummy ache. When my neck starts paining, or when my head starts paining, this is the reason. Stress is why I have been having the stomach ache all this while. So you have to understand that, yes, this is how my body reacts to stress. And what do I do? Many of us might engage in emotional eating. When we are stressed, we start munching on like chips, or some junk food. So that might be one habit that we engage, or we may just listen to music, loud music or something. There are different things which different people do when they are stressed. So what do we actually do? If it is something adaptive, it is something which is helping in the long run, fine. But if it is a bad habit, something which is not really helping you, then we have to understand that, yes, this is stress, so I really have to do something about it. So nowadays, like people initially, when the pandemic started, people used to get so stressed watching TV or reading the newspaper. Cases are increasing. People are, stuck without getting hospital beds or without oxygen. So what do we do about it? So they were reacting to it in different ways. So they had to actually acknowledge the fact that, yes, we are, going through stress, and what do we do about it? So that is one thing. And next is focusing on physical hardiness. So generally when we ask about health, generally if we talk to a like layman population, what is health or how do you improve health, they'll say you have to eat healthy, you have to exercise, drink water. We say all this. But when we ask a psychology group, or people who are working in the field of mental health, generally they'll start talking about mental health. Okay, mental health is equally important. You have to do this, you have to do that. But one thing is, mostly mental health professionals, we generally miss out the physical hardiness part. We talk about mental health, but we may be missing out on improving our physical health. Just like any other person, we may just think, okay, my work is more important. I have so many people to talk to. I have, I have this session at this time. I have this work, that work. So lunch can wait, dinner can wait, sleep can wait, everything can wait. But whoever it is, we have to invest in our physical health. We have to sleep like 7 hours a day at night, eat healthy, eat on time, keep ourselves hydrated. Like 3 liters would be good. Like that would be optimum. People say that like even 1 or 1.5 liters is okay, but like even in yoga, if you see, they say 3 to 4 liters is like, that is the optimum level that would even help you keep depression and anxiety away. Keep yourselves really hydrated, engage in exercise. So all these things. So what can we do today, or what change are we going to make today? Just one small change that you can bring in your lives to improve your physical health. What can we do about it? Because both these, like your physical health and mental health, are so interrelated. If you compromise on your physical health, it is going to affect your mental health too, and it works the other way around also. But we generally talk so much about the opposite, like you have to focus on your mental health, that we generally kind of miss out on our physical health. So work on what change are you going to bring today? One small change. So what is that one change that you're going to do? Like it can be something as simple as including some seeds and nuts in your diet, or having at least one fruit a day, or having a better sleep hygiene, or anything. A very small change. What is it that you can bring into your life? Or like promising yourself that you're going to drink this much water a day, or bringing in that little bit, like little by little, how are you going to bring in that exercise thing into your daily lifestyle? What is that one thing that you're going to do? That is the next thing. And then this is something that we all talk about so much nowadays. How do we strengthen the relaxation response? So what is it that you can do to relax yourselves? What can you do to calm your body? What can you do to calm your mind? Just very simple activities that you can do at home. Okay, so it can be some very simple breathing exercises, just sitting in one place, closing your eyes and focusing on your breath. Something as simple as that. You can use meditation apps. There are many apps like Calm and Headspace and things like that. There are apps which are developed in India also. So there are a lot of mindfulness apps. There are meditation apps which you can use to try out some relaxation skills. So now you would have understood when you are getting stressed, what happens to your body when you're getting stressed, how do you react, like behaviorally, how do you behave, how does your body react to it, what do you do when you're stressed? So when you are stressed, what will you do? And you really don't have to wait until you get stressed to start strengthening your relaxation response. You can start right away. You don't have to wait to get stressed to start anything like that. You can just start doing just 15 minutes of just sitting and breathing, just non-judgmentally, just having a very blank calm mind, and then just breathing. That itself, if you do for 15 minutes, that can strengthen your relaxation response. You can do some very simple self-soothing activities. Hold something that is comforting. It can be a soft toy. It can be something which is, warm. Everybody has their own explanations for all these things. For somebody, it might be a teddy bear. Somebody, it might be a pillow. For somebody, it might be, something warm, or whatever it is. Just try holding something that makes you comfortable. Next one is smelling something that can actually, make you feel better. Just the smell of lavender, or some aquatic smell or the smell of fresh air, some natural scent. So all this can make you feel better. Visual, like you have all these self-soothing activities in all the sensory modalities. Just looking at natural beauty, or looking at whatever. For some people, looking at puppies or kittens might make them happy. For some people, they may feel that I don't really like these puppies or kittens. So whatever it is, whatever makes you happy. Auditory, listening to music, listening to sounds of nature. It can be just listening to the sound of the ocean, or listening to birds chirping, anything which is soothing for you, or listening to some soft music. All this can make you relax. Something which you like, some drinking some tea or eating chocolate. So all that can also help you in soothing yourself. So all this happens in all the there are self-soothing activities in all the sensory modalities. You can try whatever works for you. It's not so anything which we talk about here is not a one fits all formula. It something might work for one person, it need not always work for the other person. So just find out what works for you and then try it out. And then another thing is identifying your strengths. So we all would have heard about the SWOT analysis, the strength, weakness, opportunities, and strength. I mean, threats. Now they call it as they call it a SWOT analysis. So they basically we try to find out what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. So here we can actually think about what your strength is. Okay, what is your actual strength? When were you able to overcome like you might have gone through a tough situation in your life. So just think about that time. What happened? What did I do at that time? So you are here right now because you were able to overcome that situation. You were able to handle it in some way, but like now with your experience and everything, you might be able to handle it in a much better way. But even at that time, when you didn't have this much of resources with you, when you didn't have this much of experience with you, when you didn't have this much of people with you, or expertise with you, even at that time you were able to overcome it, and you are here right now. So what did you do at that time? What did you learn about yourself? So what were the strengths which were there within you that you used to come out of that stressful condition? So just identify that one thing that really helped you, one resource that you actually used. What was that? So just think about that. Just draw an image of yourself when you were like really resilient, and how do you apply this strength right now? Okay, so that is again how you identify your strength, and how do you apply that strength right now? How do you actually how will you be able to apply that strength right now? Then how do you increase your positive emotions on a daily basis? So there are positive emotions, there are negative emotions. So being resilient doesn't mean that totally avoiding negative emotions, or just closing your doors and saying that no, I will not experience any negative emotions ever in my life. But we also have to work on increasing the positive emotions. Just find out what makes you happy, and never feel guilty about taking care of yourself. Sometimes we feel so guilty that I just spent some time for myself, or I didn't really complete that thing on time, or I wasn't supposed to do that. But sometimes we really need that break. Sometimes we really need that, break basically. Or sometimes you just need to eat that tub of ice cream and not really feel guilty about it because it made you happy. So we all deserve happiness. So we need to identify what is it that actually makes me happy. What is it that gives me that joy? So one thing that you can do is express gratitude. So gratitude is actually something that we don't really take it so importantly. we don't take it that important. So it can be something as simple as just smiling at somebody and saying, like, we don't really express our gratitude. It can be to our own parents or a spouse or a children or our colleagues or anybody. We just feel that, okay, that's how it's supposed to be. So my mother makes me breakfast every day. Every mother makes, or most of the mothers make breakfast for their children. So there's nothing that I have to thank my mother for that. Or my father got me this. So he just, he just got me. So why do I really have to thank them for that? Or, my teacher did this, or my friend did that, or my so we really don't express that gratitude, but sometimes just telling them that, you really mean a lot to me. You are so important. I really value our friendship, or I value our relationships. So just telling them that thank you might really brighten up their day. It might, it might stick on to them. It might stay with them. That emotion that they felt, like that feeling of happiness that they felt when they heard those words from you, it might stay with them for like the rest of their lives. They might look back at that one moment whenever they feel low. So why can't we be that one person who brings that happiness in another person's life? Just call up somebody, just send a message, just say that, just check on them, ask how they are, say how much you enjoyed when you were with that person. Maybe you're not together right now. Just tell them, or write a letter, send an email, send a WhatsApp message, or send a message in a messenger, whatever it is. Now we have so many ways to stay connected. Just somehow express your gratitude to the other person. So expressing gratitude is not always limited to expressing it to others. You also have to express it, to yourself. Just say thank you to yourself, or tell yourself how many things happened in your life to be, grateful about. I had, so many things have happened in my life. And, it might be something one exercise that we generally tell is maintaining a gratitude jar. So just have a small box or a jar or a glass jar, and then just write in very small pieces of paper about what you could be grateful about that day. Initially, you may just have one point or something, but later on, you come to realize that, okay, there are so many things that are happening in my life that I can really be grateful about. It's not, you need not really wait for that one great moment where that is life changing. I will be grateful only for that. It can be just one stranger who smiled at you, or something that you found, or something that you saw, or something that made you smile today, or anything. So, after a period of time, you will see that so many things have happened in my life that I really have to be grateful about. So it's basically about expressing your gratitude to other people, as well as identifying all the things that are happening in your life that you really have to be grateful about. So that is another thing that also makes you, feel more positive. And then listing out your accomplishments. So your accomplishments, again, it doesn't have to mean something that is really great, something that everybody is going to come and say, like, wow, you have done such a great job. As simple as getting up and getting ready for work, or getting ready to go to college. Some days even that is an accomplishment. Some days you may feel very low, you might not even feel like getting up, or showing up in your workplace. That day you did it. That is an accomplishment. Just list it out, just write it down. I just especially for many people during the pandemic, surviving or going through one whole day itself was an accomplishment for many people, because they were finding it so difficult. So just say that I found it really difficult to do something, but I did it. It need not always be something that other people will say that it's like really great, it was a great for you, it might be great. So if that is the case, just write it down. Just maintain a small diary or a journal and just write it. And another thing which I would like to add on here is, never pressurize yourself thinking that I didn't have, and like, we all are on our own timelines. So never pressurize yourself saying that I have not done this, or I don't have any very solid accomplishment to really show or say or anything. Just, sometimes even just as I told you, just surviving itself might be an accomplishment in itself. So just, never pressurize yourself. During the pandemic, when I was talking to students, that this is what one student told me. All my friends, they were attending so many webinars, they are, having so many certificates with them, but I didn't do anything. And I'm feeling so bad about it. What do I do? I told her, you still have time. This is not the, now later on you can, do it. You don't never pressurize yourself saying that that person has done this, I have not done this. So we all are going according to our own timeline. So never pressurize yourself saying that I don't have this particular accomplishment, or this is not how I want my life to be. Just take things as it comes. And then engage in meaningful activities. So when I say meaningful, it can be even things that bring about that enjoyment in you, things that you really enjoy doing. So what is it that you did that was meaningful? Okay, what happened in your day? So at the end of the day, it shouldn't be like nothing has happened in my life, or I'm just wasting my time on the day. Just do something which is meaningful. Just engage in something which makes you feel good. It need not be something that requires a lot of money, or requires a lot of people to come along with you. It might be just even, sitting and listening to, birds chirping, or, reading a book, or just going out for a walk. Even that might be something that makes you happy on that particular day. I spend time with nature. A person might even feel that could be a meaningful activity, or just reading something, or talking to somebody, or sharing something with somebody, or anything that you feel that adds meaning. It need not always be something that is quantifiable. If something made you happy, fine, that is also something that added meaning to your life. Engage in something that makes you feel that yes, this is something that I want to do. Identify that is very important. So just engage in meaningful activities. And then we all go through a lot of unhelpful thinking. So like, whenever you're faced with a tough situation, whenever you're faced with a stressful situation, just write down what you think about it. What is actually going through your mind? Just write it down. Writing really helps. Okay. And then just think about what is the worst thing that can happen. If that is what happens, I mean, if it is the worst thing that actually turns out, how would I survive it? So thing can turn out either being the best or the worst. So what is the worst? What's the worst scenario? What is the best scenario? Just think about that. It need not always end up being the worst. It can even end up being good. Okay. So what would you tell a friend if a friend was coming and telling you that this is what I'm going through? So what would you tell your friend? So if you just come out of that and then just think of it as an outsider, then you may get some insights rather than you being entangled in all your problems. Just think about it as an outsider. If your friend was in the situation, or somebody was in the situation, what would you do? So that helps you to get a better perspective about it. If you can't stop thinking about something, just write it down. Just write it every week for 4 weeks. See how your perspective changes. Sometimes initially you may feel that it's the end of your life, nothing is going to help me out, or I can never come out of this issue. But after every week, you get to know that okay, you are getting aware of the resources that you have, or you are trying to bring in a lot of resources, or you've started to identify your strengths. So your perspective gets clearer. You are able to understand, you're able to analyze the whole situation in a much better way. If you feel that you're being too hard on yourself, just practice some self-compassion, we talk about compassion, but we always talk about, being compassionate to others, being compassionate to the needy people, being compassionate to the poor. But we also need to practice self-compassion. We need to know how to be kind to ourselves. Okay. And then give ourselves a mental break. Sometimes we all just need that 1 day break. If sleeping is something that is going to give you that break, just sleep for just spend a Sunday sleeping, or just tell yourself, okay, just you are going to, overcome this. Or even thinking about somebody who has helped you out earlier, or somebody who you actually look up to, or somebody who you really admire, just thinking of them, that also can help at times. So we have to work on these unhelpful thinking that my life is gone, everything is, a total failure, I'll never be able to overcome this. Whenever that you realize that that thinking is coming in, understand that it is unhelpful thinking, and then try to counter it. This again helps in resilience building. And then we were talking about social support. We have been talking about social support for quite some time. So how do we create a caring community? How do we deal with others? How do we get that social support that we require? For that, we need to actually connect with people. We need to connect with our friends. We need to connect with our family. So we need to understand who is it that is actually going to give us that support. It can be in a workplace, it can be at home, it can be in the community. So identify those people who are going to be your, social support system. Connect with them, talk to them over the phone or directly, or message them, or now we have WhatsApp, Facebook and whatnot. Connect with them virtually or in real time, which is obviously much better. But sometimes during the pandemic we may be stuck somewhere, or may not be able to reach out physically to people. So somehow just connect with them, practice good communication skills, know what is conflict resolution, and practice the conflict resolution skills. Practice on how you can actually talk to people in an in a good manner, or how you can actually communicate with people. So that is again something which we all have to work on. And then we have this approach which we call the sorry resilience building approach. So there is this 4-factor approach, which we actually can call it like Serani is a psychologist who has come up with this whole idea. So what they say is that this is a unique approach which we can use to develop our resilience skills. So if we just think about a car crash, so suppose we met with a car accident, and we are hospitalized, like a person is hospitalized. Okay. And then that is the that is the condition. So what do we do about it? Do we keep blaming ourselves, saying that it's all because of me, it was my fault, if it was not for my carelessness this wouldn't have happened, I would be at home right now, I wouldn't be in the hospital? Do we actually have to keep on blaming ourselves and going through that trauma again and again, and spending a whole life saying that I wasted so much of my money, I suffered this much of pain, and I had this much of health issues all because of me? Is that how we want to spend our life, or do we have to look at it in a different way? So first we have to state the facts. What actually happened? It was a car crash. This is not something that is going to define your life. Stating the actual fact as it is, placing the blame where it belongs. This is not like saying that I'm perfectly all right, nobody can blame me or anything. But if the blame belongs with another person or with another situation, place the blame there. You shouldn't be the one who is under blame all the time. You shouldn't be blaming you always and saying that every bad thing that happens in my life is because of me. So place the blame where it actually belongs. Reframe the whole situation, understand it, look at it from a different perspective, then give yourself the time. Sometimes time actually helps us to heal. If it is 1 month that we need to recover, give yourselves that 1 month. Don't think that, okay, if it was not for this, I would have been in office right now. I don't want to be in hospital for 1 month. I don't want to take rest for 1 month. Sometimes we need to spend that 1 month to come back with much more, energy. Give yourselves the time. So if we think about this as a car crash example, then this is how it is, and this applies to any situation that we go through. So just understand it, look at it from a different perspective. Don't always blame yourself. Give yourself the time. If it was a relationship failure, if it was an academic issue, if it was a car crash, if it was an accident, or whatever it is, sometimes we need that time and we have to give ourselves that time. We really deserve that time which we require to heal. Give yourself that time. Don't be too hard on yourself. So that is again one more thing. And the next topic that we'll be seeing is, what are the elements of a resilient life. So there is a Broaden and Build theory which says that your positive emotions can actually help you to broaden your thoughts. Okay, so whenever you go through any positive emotion, it can be joy or happiness or interest or whatever it is, that actually broadens your thoughts. Okay, it broadens the whole arena of thoughts and actions that are there in front of you, and that in turn helps you to develop all your resources. So when your thoughts are broadened, then you're aware of what are the resources that you have, what are the social resources that you have, what are the emotional resources that you have, what are the physical resources that you have. It helps all that to come to your mind, and then as a result of that, again, you attain personal growth, and then again it leads to more positive emotions. So it kind of goes on and on and on. So this is one explanation, like you need positive emotions to actually develop your expand your thoughts, which in turn will help you to build on your resources, which again helps you to grow as an individual. That is one explanation, that one major contributing factor to resilience is your positive emotions. Even when you are under stress, it's not impossible to have positive emotions. So you can bring in that happiness, you can bring in that cheer in yourself and in others. It is possible, so which can help you to become resilient. And this was actually the earlier viewpoint, that you need to have a positive emotion to be resilient. But later on, it was understood that it's not just positive emotions that are important. Your sense of independence and competence is also important. Okay, so you need to have that sense of autonomy. You need to have that sense of competence, that yes, I am able to do something. There is a meaning to my life. I am a competent person. I am a self-reliant person. I am independent. So that feeling also should be there. It's not uh, I do have goals and I am capable of reaching those goals. I have some values which are there within me. So all that is also important. It's not just about being happy and being in one place. Sometimes we also want that the autonomy element in our lives, or that feeling that we are capable of doing something. So this is the eudaimonic well-being, and it basically deals with how you feel about your life, or your perception about your fulfillment in your life. So hardness is also important. Like people who are hardy, they hardness is a psychological variable. So they feel that they are able to control their surroundings, they are able to control the events that are happening in their lives. So that is also important, the understanding that yes, this is what life is offering me and this is how I deal with it. So they know how to deal with it. So they don't feel that, this is going to be very traumatic and everything. They know how to deal with stuff. So psychological hardness is also very important. So once we are resilient, then it helps you to cope with any situation. It helps you to think in a much better way. It helps us in our relationships. So they end up being more happy. So a person who's resilient, even when they are faced with a stressful situation, they are able to handle it. They can help others handle their stressful situations. So that's basically what happens when you work on your resilience. So all the very small things that we spoke about today, there's nothing which is very complicated. It's just about understanding your stress, or bringing in some positive emotion in your life, doing a little bit of meditation, or bringing in something to help your physical health, improve your physical health, or practicing gratitude. All these very simple steps, if we just bring it into our lives, definitely it can help us in improving our resilience. So we already saw that resilience is not something that you have to be born with. There's nothing like it's a trait which you have to be born with. If you're not born with it, then you can't get it. There's nothing like that. You can develop your resilience. There are so many studies which have been done where they have spoken about how you can enhance your resilience. You can work on it. You can learn how to bounce back from adversity. So it is something that can be cultivated and it can be nurtured. So every morning we are born again. So this is something again which is said by Buddha. So we should just see every morning as a new birth. So what we do today is what matters. There might be something which had happened in the past. There might have been something traumatic. You might be anticipating something to be happening in the future. Just leave all that. Just focus on your present, and just focus on what you're doing right now, and that is really what matters the most. So that's it. Thank you very much. Thank you, MindCraft and the organizers, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, everybody. These are my contact details. You can get in touch with me anytime. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much for this enlightening session. Now, participant, you have any question? No, Magna, you can start.
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Thank you, Ragitha ma'am, for this amazing session that we had. We got to know about so many new things, and even I'm from myself psychology background, so several of the things which you shared with us today, it is all like we knew that thing, but you simplified the versions, and you made us understand the concept of psychological resilience, and like enhancing it into so simple language that every person, every commoner person will understand it. And thank you for having this session. Thank you for being with us, and thank you for sharing your knowledge with us.
Can you
Ma'am,
stop
you are
the
on mute.
share?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Meghna.
Thank you, sir.
Can you stop the
Yes.
share screen?
Okay.
Now, participant, you have any question, clarification, you can ask. You can unmute your end.
One participant had asked for my email ID. I've shared it in the
Okay.
chat box.
Ma'am, excuse me.
Yes.
Yes.
Will you please explain eudaimonic well-being?
Okay. Eudaimonic well-being is basically it is more about your goals and what what actually you deal with, your perception of your life. That is what generally comes under eudaimonic well-being. So it's not only about feeling happy, or just about having a particular positive emotion. It's more about flourishing. It's about having that good spirit, rather than just saying that I'm happy and that is enough for me. It's the next level. That is what generally we see in eudaimonia. So it's actually a Greek word. I'm not very sure about, I really don't remember what it actually means, but it has derived from a Greek word. That is what, eudaimonia is not just experiencing positive emotions alone. It is having that, good spirit, and, adding up all these elements like, autonomy and free spirit and self-reliability. All these things add up together to bring in that well-being. That is what eudaimonia actually means. So it's actually more
Thank you,
than
ma'am. Thank you.
happiness. It's more than happiness, basically. It's a state of well-being.
Yes, Suren, sir.
Madam, may I audible?
Yes, yes.
So really, it is a wonderful class. While going through my mind, there is a question arise: am I a resilient person? I got an answer, yes, because I have got the idea of patience, tolerance, and again, optimism and faith. I hope that this much enough for a happy life. So this resilient point, I am happy. Again, I hope everybody can scan themselves and find out whether they are resilient. We are all always happy to think we have to spend a happy life. So a resilient person can do that. Madam, thank you for that direct answers to every point one by one. So a resilient person can live happily, meaningful, and successful life. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Murali.
Ma'am, thank you very much for your nice presentation. The resilience actually, is there any special definition?
Definition, like there are different ways in we explain resilience, sir. So
Yes, can you please
it can,
explain a little bit here?
yes, sir. So basically, the simplest way to explain is just bouncing back. If you go through a stressful situation, how do you come back? Okay, so you have faced a crisis. How do you come back to the pre-crisis situation? That is one way in which we can explain. Another one is, in spite of having a tough time, if you are getting good outcomes, that is also resilience. So
Okay.
if you are, if you are facing any difficulties in life, like I can just give you an example. If suppose you have a disability, or you have any, anything that is, impairing you from a general perspective, from a general, from anybody who sees you understands that yes, this person is lacking support, or this person is having some kind of an issue in their life. In spite of that, if you are able to bring in a good outcome, that outcome can even be something that is quantifiable, something that a student who is not having enough resources is getting good marks. That can be shown as resilience. You can call that academic resilience. You can say that that is a quantifiable measure of resilience. There are many studies which have explained resilience as an outcome, something that you can achieve in spite of having a difficulty. So all these are different ways in which we can explain resilience. So
Okay. In part with that, my doubt, what are the factors mainly affecting the resilience? The factors,
affecting
psychological factors, which will affect the resilience.
in a positive way or a negative way?
Either way.
Okay, so one is definitely, the social support.
Yeah,
I couldn't
yes,
hear
yes.
that. Okay.
Yeah, yes, madam. Yeah, proceed.
Okay. So one is, of course, your social support. One is that sense of autonomy. One is the positive emotions that you feel. So all the areas that are there that can actually bring you or affect your resilience level. So the emotions that you feel, the health that you have, okay, the quality of life that you have. So all these are your subjective well-being, your level of optimism, the level of hardiness, the problem solving capacities of an individual. So all these, if you ask for psychological variables, all these you can of self-concept, your physical self-concept, social, spiritual, academic, whatever areas of self-concept that you have. All these are some of the variables are directly correlated with your resilience.
Okay.
So any issue which happens in all these areas can directly affect your or impact your level of resilience, your humor. So all the positive psychology, variables which you can talk about, all these are kind of directly gratitude for that matter. All these are directly connected to resilience. So if any change happens in any one of these areas, yes, it can impact your level of resilience.
Okay, okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Malesh.
Good evening, madam.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, thanks to J.N. Namudri sir, being a mental health professional, we are talking too much on negative issues. I think it's my opinion, my personal opinion, not general opinion. And here today, really, I'm very happy to, really, I'm relaxed basically by listening to this session. And one point I like very much now, that is which is disclosed by you, that is being a mental health professional, we should be as fit physically at the same time mentally. Okay, thanks to this note, madam, because we are ignoring the main point. Of course, that is the main point, and we are ignoring. So again, you noticed us as a resource person, and really we are very happy this session, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
My pleasure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Another ma'am? Ma'am from SV University. Any other participants? If any clarification? Our next webinar on 2nd October at 7 p.m. Session on psychodrama.
Sir, may I add
Yes.
one more point?
Yes, yes.
Madam, we are hearing most of the lectures here on the Zoom platform. They are giving some problems. That point, problem is there. This problem is here. But what you have given is the problem with the answer. In a stressful situation, what the audience should do to overcome that. That's a positive signal. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Kalpana ma'am. Now you can continue. I think no more questions. So thank you very much for providing great session, and all the participants also thank you very much for attending our program. Next program on 2nd October at 7 p.m. session on psychodrama. Yes, Kalpana ma'am, continue.
Yeah. Am I audible now, sir?
Yes, continue.
Okay, yeah. I said it was a nice session, and thank you, Dr. Ragitha. It was very, thoughtful and, thought-provoking. And, we know about how to come back resilient, and lots of your PowerPoint and everything made a lot of sense, and, your the way of explaining also was very interesting. And thank you, MindCraft. Thank you so much, Dr. Jayan.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Any more participants? Suresh sir? Sir, kindly unmute. Suresh sir, kindly unmute. Sir, mic is muted. Maybe network issues. So we can find it. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody.
Sir, yeah, continue. Sir, continue.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Madam, I'm Suresh Kumar. I have heard your speech on psychological resilience. Really speaking, it was a very nice presentation. You have succeeded in providing a host of idea pertaining the area of that particular topic. With the help of your explanations, we have got a lot of new information regarding that particular area. From the whole speech, I can understand a new outcome that is created in order to create a better mental equilibrium. With the help of that equilibrium, we can get over all type of problem and we can retain the peace of mind. Here, my doubt is there any relationship between your topic and some emotional immunity? Can we acquire the emotional immunity through the process of psychological resilience? It is my question.
Emotional immunity, what do you actually mean by that state? I mean that concept, sir.
Emotional immunity means we can maintain a better mental ability or capacity to cope with the situations, especially that situations which create a lot of problem in the life of a person.
Okay, basically how you respond to your feelings, that would be what you mean by that, like in an effective manner. So yes, of course, yes, because when we talk about resilience, we generally have to acquire resilience, or we have to deal with resilience when we come across with feelings. Sometimes that's what I told in the beginning itself. For some people, we may say that I feel so lost in life because this thing happened to me. But when another person sees that situation, they'll say, "Lila, this is not such a great thing, and all. You don't have to be so worried about this. It's something that is very it's not something to be really worried about." So it is our feelings that matter there. We we deposit a lot of our emotions and feelings on that particular event or that person or that situation, that it ends up being a traumatic situation for us. So when we develop resilience, of course we develop emotional immunity along with that. When we work on our emotional immunity, as a result of that, our resilience also develops. So it works both ways, because
Okay, madam.
mostly it is not always the exact we can never give a dictionary meaning to many of the situations which happen in our lives. There is mostly a psychological meaning associated with it. There is an affective or a emotional meaning that we associate with so many things in our lives. So when we work on that aspect, when we work on how we can build on our emotional immunity, as a result of that, our resilience also improves, and the other way around also. That is my view about this.
Okay. The concept is very clear, madam. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. So we can find out. I think no more questions.
Thank you, sir.